This is a story called Are You Smarter Than a Horse? Um, I don't know if you know anything about the width of the ass of a horse. They have enormous asses, horses. You have to get close to realize just how enormous. And when I was 11 years old, I was contemplating the ass of a horse, and my cousin was telling me to get up on the horse. And he was already up on the horse, and I don't even think there was a saddle. He had like a blanket over it, and he had put those contraptions on the mouth of the horse, the thing in their teeth and the reins, and he wanted to go for a ride on this damn horse. And so he's reaching down, and anyway, I get up there. I can't believe it. It's enormous, this horse. Finally I'm up on the back of the end of the horse, and I'm holding on to my cousin, and the ass of the horse is so wide that my legs they're sticking almost straight out. I mean, I can't really hardly get my legs around this enormous ass of the horse. And then my cousin, he giddy up, and inside the ass of the horse are hip bones, and the hip bones are, they're going up and down, and we're walking, and then we're trotting, and the bones are, and finally we're galloping. Oh my God, the bones are like this, and I'm, pooh, I just fly off, and that was my introduction to the horse. Well, the next day, this is not my cousin's horse. This is some farmer in the neighborhood. My cousin was a guy from Missouri, and horses were a normal thing in his world. They were not a normal thing in my world. Well, the next day, the farmer calls up, and he wants us to help him round up some cows. Except when we got over there, he was busy, so we were supposed to round up the cows all by ourselves. And this is thrilling to my cousin, because we get to use horses. My cousin will have a horse, and I will have a horse. And our job is to go out there. This is this enormous field, and apparently there's a bunch of cows out there in various locations, and we are to find these cows and get them to go back to the barn. I have no idea why this is necessary. They seem perfectly happy cows, but anyway, for some reason we have to get them back to the barn. So my cousin tells me that I can ride the old horse. It is old, broken down, stupid, gentle horse, according to my cousin. And I say, no, no, I really don't. Could I just walk? And my cousin says, are you smarter than a horse? Are you? And that's my vanity. All my life, that's been my one vanity, is that I imagine I'm intelligent, and this can be exploited. I know that, in fact, I'm an idiot. All my life I've had to deal with the unfortunate fact that I'm a fool. However, when my cousin says this to me, "Are you smarter than a horse?" Damned if I'm up on the horse. It's got a saddle, and my cousin put a saddle on it, and I'm up on top of the horse. We're giddy up, and I'm following. My cousin is on his horse, and he's ahead of us, and I'm thinking my horse can maybe just follow along, and doesn't see. I'm just trying not to fall off the damn horse. It's a lot easier to ride the horse when you're sitting in a saddle. I discover real quickly. So I'm developing, a little bit of confidence. You're smarter than the horse, be the boss. But I think the horse is kind of figuring out that on top of it is an idiot. I think horses maybe have a kind of a sense of that sort of thing. Anyway, we find a cow. There's a huge thorn tree, and in the shade underneath the tree is a cow. And that cow, he does not really want to get out of there. So we're kind of ambling up to it. My cousin on his horse, and me on my horse, and my cousin is shouting, and so I'm shouting, and finally the cow kind of ambles out and heads back to the barn. And I can't believe it. It's like, geez, all I gotta do is shout at it, and too tough. And my cousin says, "See, that wasn't so hard, And so he rides off to find the next cow. So I try to get my horse to follow him, but my horse, I'm yanking on the reins, and my horse is just ignoring me. And instead of turning around and going after my cousin, my horse, he just kind of lowers his head, and I have no idea what that means. Why is he lowering his head? Maybe he's hungry. I think that horses eat they eat grass, I guess. So maybe he's going to eat some grass. But then he starts moving forward towards the tree. Um, I think I mentioned that it was a thorn tree. The branches have these enormous, I don't know, maybe 4-inch long black thorns on them, and there's one branch is kind of a low hanging branch, and my horse is ambling directly toward that. He ducks his head down really low, and so he can fit underneath that low hanging branch. But and I cannot. I'm yelling, I'm pulling, nothing, and so finally I just drop down on his back, and one of those thorns digs directly into my back and just drags it. I'm just blood, and and I fall off the horse. Soon I was scraped off, and I'm laying there on the ground, scratched and bloody, and the horse happily trotted back to the barn, once and for all answering the question, am I smarter than a horse?